Really nice stadium. Anyway, speaking of things that are interesting, so this morning there was a boxing match, apparently. 58-year-old Mike Tyson versus 27-year-old Jake Paul. That is all I know about it, Bernard.
Yes, so it was a fight that has been highly anticipated. And I think one of the reasons that's been highly anticipated is because it's Mike Tyson. It's Iron Mike. It's somebody we used to watch in the early 90s and of course the late 80s and early 90s. And he was, you remember, the early 90s was the season of the Mikes.
Yes.
There was Michael Jackson, there was Michael Jordan.
Yes, and there was Mike Tyson.
There was Mike Tyson. I remember very keenly those three. And two of them, they influenced culture.
Yes.
Because Mike Tyson, remember, he used to have that cut. Remember, he used to go work in New Zealand, somebody party Tyson. You have the cut. Of course, more often than not, the barber would miss it. So it is not symmetrically aligned as you'd want it to look like Mike Tyson. And then there's a time he had, I think, was it that gold thing on his tooth? There's something he used to have.
Yes, he had the gold tooth. Yes.
And funny enough, I came to realize he has a list much later in life when he started trolling. I never even used to notice it. I never even used to pick it up. I think for me, I used to see Mike. He was one of the most feared individuals in boxing, in the ring and outside, because of the persona and the way he was.
Yeah.
And he was very, the things about Mike Tyson, if looking at the history of boxing, global boxing, and especially heavyweight, we didn't have those personalities that used to rile people up. And after Muhammad Ali, it took a bit of time. There are people who popped up here and there, but none like Mike Tyson. Because he came in he was the youngest, one of the youngest heavyweights.
Yes, at age 20.
Yes. And he was a knockout merchant. Like, remember Iron Fist? I think the word Iron Fist.
Yes.
The
Iron
moniker.
Mike.
Iron Mike, exactly. There's this story that I had. I don't know how true it is. I suspect it's false. And I'll give you another story based on Mike Tyson. So, apparently Mike Tyson was in a club one time. And then there was some drama and stuff. So, this guy started saying, oh, he's a big guy. It's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. What are you telling me? Blah, 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 blah. So, they're like, they say it in the movies in the US. Let's take this outside. So, wakatoka inje. See, this guy is like, let's tuende sasa, put them up. Mike threw one punch. His punch hit a parking meter, it bent. Because he missed that guy. Threw a punch and missed, and I suspect his story in remix na ni wongo, but just the way he was a persona, he was
it's believable.
It's believable.
Just when you think about who he was and what we saw.
Exactly.
And the whole, I'm going to eat your children. You remember versus Evander Holyfield.
Yes.
I'm going to eat your children. Yes. And him biting his, like, so when you do something, you're like, yeah, that could
There's
be
a possibility. He had a tiger, Wakabi.
Yeah.
See, I think he had a tiger.
There's a picture today of him walking it.
Yes, he had a tiger. I don't know what other crazy things he had. He has this, you saw this facial tattoo he got in I think the past 10 years or so.
Yes.
So when he hit that parking meter, that guy, Musa akasema, you know what? If ingekuwa imenipata uso, ingekuwa imebondeka.
Be rearranged.
Ingekuwa rearranged. Dental formula ingekuwa hivi. Meno inakaa kama piano keyboard. Black, white. You know how it looks?
Yes.
Like those cartoons. Remember those cartoons?
Yes,
those
I
cartoons
can see it. I'm like...
when we are watching on...
But here's the thing. Yeah. Mike is 58 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, for that time, he's undefeated, man. He's 58 years
actually,
old. The last time he had a fight...
It was 19
years ago.
Yeah.
19 years ago would be 2005.
Yeah, it's 2005.
Whoa, I was a baby in this industry. So I'm like... Look, I understand the hoopla about it, and I understand the fact that Netflix crashed. Everyone watched it on Twitter and wherever it was a big thing. And in the end, the pay is ridiculous, Bernard, when you read about it. What, 30 million pounds, which is like $40 million for Paul, and then Mike made 15 million pounds for his hustle.
It's good. It's good.
And it was great. Yeah, it's great. That's great money to make. And then you think about the people who the ticket sales alone, Bernard, 70,000 people showed up. The ticket sales alone were 4.1 million pounds. Ticket sales alone.
That's good money.
It's ridiculous.
That's good money.
When you think about, there was a package, I was reading this morning. There was a package, VIP package.
Yes.
That was 1.6 million pounds. 1.6 million pounds to go to a boxing match.
You know, Okabi? It is the nostalgia. It is Mike Tyson.
So he's the reason.
He's a legend. It's like, for example, when our very own Eliud Kipchoge decides I'm going to hang my spikes 10
Yes.
years from now, and he says I'm going to attend an event, people will pay premium
Just to be there.
just to be there.
So he's the reason for all these
Yes.
numbers and all this money.
Because if I was having a discussion with somebody else, and I said, if Paul was fighting somebody, some nondescript fighter, or even maybe he's a legend, no one would care.
no one would know. No one would give.
This is Mike Tyson. This is the Mike Tyson, Iron Mike. And you see, the thing is, what I love is how he's been able to reinvent himself in the past decade or so. Because
Yes.
he's 58 years old.
Yes. And he went through the whole ringer. He made so much money. He lost most of it.
Exactly.
He was in jail. And then he just found a way. Now he's a big guy. He's a very big businessman in the business of cannabis.
Yes.
Like he's reinvented himself.
And now the thing is, I found interesting was how we were able to see shades of the old Mike in the past week, especially with the press conference, with the pre-fight press conference. But the thing about the press conference, people don't understand, when he slapped Jake Paul, it was warranted. It's wrong, but I understand why he reacted the way he did. Because if you watch the full video, I don't know if you've watched that video.
I didn't. I read about it, and when I read about it, I had two thoughts. One, I thought he's going to lose that fight. Because I thought, if he's going to lose it.
Paul has gotten under his skin.
Yes.
Now, what happened is, Jake Paul, if you watch the clip, and if you get a chance to watch it on social media, just look for that press conference, the entire clip. So what happens is, Jake Paul came on all fours, mimicking an animal. And you see, obviously you can tell which animal it is.
Yes.
And when they were face to face, he stepped on Tyson's foot. Tyson reacted. If you're able to watch the clip, you'll see he mouth something. He's like telling him, "You what is it? Why are you doing that?" Understand? So that's one of the reasons why he snapped. Because remember, people need to forget, this is Mike Tyson. This is somebody who was crazy. Who was
baddest man on the planet.
Exactly. Like, people feared him. Now there's another story. Remember I said I'll tell you two stories.
Yes.
Now the other story I had is, there's a lady who I think, I don't know if it was somebody that they were friends or something like that. So they're in a club. Once, because remember I used to party a lot.
Yes. So
went to a club, and then I think it was a bit of an altercation, and then with the lady with somebody else. Then somebody pulled out a gun. So this at one of the lady's friends. So somebody dashed, went and called Mike. He's like, "Mike, come quickly, this guy has whatever has moved a gun." Mike Tyson came. He just swatted the gun away. He's like, "Where is this animal bugani? Where tulia? Where tulia? You know, there's a way, that soft voice with a lisp.
Yes.
It's very disarming. And you can imagine somebody, this is a heavyweight champion. This is somebody who's beaten. You know the things about Mike Tyson, there's a way you could see, there's a time I've been in a rabbit hole and watched his fights. There's one of his best videos is one where he's in the string, when the referee is giving them instructions, let's fight fair, he's taking the gloves.
In his black trunks.
Yes.
Always.
So this guy, his opponent, is just dancing around. So Mike is just standing straight. He's just following with his eyes. Like, they like an animal is just looking at you. It's like, when let una vituko zako utakipata, and he hits you hard. Now, another interesting thing about this gentleman, Paul, he was wearing one of the most expensive boxing shorts ever.
I saw that, and I wanted to ask, what are they made of?
It has bits of diamond, apparently. So it was costing, guess how much?
How much?
£1 million.
£1 million.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, £1 million.
Yes.
Pair of trunks.
Yes. Jasho sahi. Yeah.
Like, join him to a showman. He's everything must look nice. He's a showman guy, so I can sort of understand what he was doing. I, however, have a prayer. Please, can Mike go back to selling weed and leave all these other things? It's okay.
I agree.
It's fine.
I agree.
Let's not have this kind of thing again. I saw a tweet by Magic Johnson who said, "I stopped watching the fight." He was like, "I stopped watching the fight." I don't know whether I can find it. No, it's a problem with my brain.
This thing was hype.
I think the problem with my brain is that it just goes. So like now it's gone to that tweet, because I saw it this morning, and he said, "Just sad, SMH. I cut it off because I couldn't watch anymore. It's sad to see Mike Tyson like this because I went to every Tyson fight. This fight tonight was not great for boxing." And that, I think, is where we should finish this conversation with, which is what I think. All these exhibition fights are not good for the sport. They remove a lot from the purity of the sport.
But it's not instant recently, if you think about it. It's funny, because I was looking at it, just dug into history.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali,
Yes.
the legend as well, he fought a Japanese wrestler, Antonio Inaki. I don't even remember that one.
No.
In 1976. So he had made a proposition and said he wanted to fight somebody, anyone who is not even a boxer.
Yes.
The prize pass was, I think, was $1 million at the time.
Ah.
So somebody came up and said, actually, we will give you 6 million. And they fought. He fought with a wrestler. It's called
And of course
Inaki.
he beat him.
So it was just a chaotic bout because the guy was also kicking him and stuff. So it just became something of a just as a fuss.
Yeah.
Similar to almost what we've been witnessing in previous years. Remember with Ngannou and Fury, with Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
Yes.
So it's not something new. It's happened before. But I agree, for boxing purists, they would want to have the legitimacy of the sport being maintained and the sanctity of the sport being maintained, because the only boxer in that true boxer in that ring was Tyson. Paul was a YouTuber.
Or is a YouTuber.
Yes. So him is making his money. That big take I want to take, Wakabi, is my friend, when we reach 58, my brother, we need to look like this.
You need to look like that,
That guy looked the part.
There,
5'8".